they're giving you exactly what they say they will. And I don't think that what they say they're gonna do is what the country needs, but you know what you're getting with the likes of Mark Carney. He wrote a manifesto called Values. You know what you're getting with Lena Diab-Metlich. You know what you're getting with the Liberal MPs. They're pretty upfront about what they plan to do to you. Mark Miller, he's gonna censor your Bible. It's guys like this that just, months ago, well, more than that for him because he hasn't shown up for work in months, but a year ago, standing up in the House of Commons saying the Liberals are too cozy with the IRGC, standing up saying he's going to fight for the oil and gas sector, and then switches to the guys who are actively undermining everything and saying, oh, it was Carney's Davos speech. The Davos speech that, took a sideways swipe at Donald Trump and then resulted in more trade fallout. That was your inspiration to come back to work? Absolutely not. What did they give you, Matt? What did they give you for you to sell your soul like this?
Well, and I wonder, can we just queue up a clip of that Davos speech? Because I think that was just pretty much an entirely AI generated nonsense script that was so passive aggressively throwing punches at President Donald Trump, where, Trump then the next day was like, if you want to call someone out by name, Mark, you can just do it.
Yeah.
Like this, it's classic. What's the word I'm looking for? Just inability to assertively and confidently say what you mean and mean what you say. It's like skirting the issues and trying to allude to them in a roundabout way when you can just be pointed and factual and get your point across much more eloquently if you speak that way. But this like nonsense, do we have a clip of his speech?
Yeah.
Because I think it was just absolute nonsense. And then
it was written by AI for someone who believes in nothing except power. And so, he hadn't actually ever really considered the issues facing Canadians.
Cowardly, that's the word I was looking for.
We understand that this rupture calls for more than adaptation.
Yeah, the rupture.
It calls for honesty about the world as it is. We are taking the sign out of the window. We know the old order is not coming back. We shouldn't mourn it. Nostalgia is not a strategy. But we believe that from the fracture, we can build something bigger, better, stronger, more just. This is the task of the middle powers. The countries that have the most to lose from a world of fortresses and a most to gain from genuine cooperation. The powerful have their power. But we have something too. The capacity to stop pretending, to name reality, to build our strength at home, and to act together. That is Canada's path. We choose it openly and confidently.
That's enough.
Yeah. We choose the middle power openly and confidently. Like, what an embarrassment to Canadians.
What does that even mean?
We have been historically a superpower. We could unlock and unleash superpower potential.
Yeah.
And you have Prime Minister Mark Carney up on the world stage calling us a middle power at best. And this is what causes you to cross the floor. What an absolute cowardly embarrassment to all Canadians, but especially his constituents.
Yeah. I mean, that was a speech that settled for mediocrity.
Yes.
We are an energy superpower if someone would let us. World's third largest proven oil and gas reserves and more of those are becoming attainable every day. Infinite, just about, gas resources, again, more of those are becoming attainable every day. 800 years of some of the cleanest burning coal in the world. We just kick it out of the ground under our feet if we were allowed to use it. Potash, which is essential in fertilizer, uranium, but we're not allowed to do anything with it besides being the agricultural breadbasket, I think, largely of the world. we're not allowed to do anything with it because of the Liberals. And so Matt Jeneroux would have me believe that he heard a speech that said, we are going to settle for mediocrity, and thought, sign me up. I'm back in the game, baby. Like, it's so ridiculous. I know they offered you something, Matt. I'll find out what it is, by the way. And because your friends that you betrayed, they're turning on you. And some of them want to talk, just so you know. Let's go into Minister LeBlanc. He is saying, there's no dirty backroom deal. That speech was just so darn moving that it clutched at the heartstrings of Matt Jeneroux and drew him into our fold, which
Yes.
is unbelievable. And could just like quit, I hate to use the word, but quit gaslighting people. We're not this stupid.
Mr. Polyev is accusing your party of trying to seize majority through, quote, dirty backroom deals. Yeah. And we're wondering if you have a response to that, please.
I never am ceased to be amazed by the hypocrisy of Mr. Polyev on these issues. I was a member of Parliament when in Mr. Harper's government they stood and cheered, and I think even made her deputy leader in a Liberal MP crossed the floor to join the Conservatives. He should look in the mirror and ask himself why he's having these challenges in his caucus. It's easy to somehow make up a phrase like backroom deals. He would be the expert in that sort of stuff. If his caucus members choose to leave his caucus, he can explain that. And he also should be able to defend why they celebrated similar decisions at a different time in a different parliament.
Okay, well, now, Leona Alislev was not the greatest Conservative, and that's why she's no longer an MP. But at least when she crossed the floor, she gave examples. And I was saying this on the live stream yesterday with Stockwell Day and David Knight-Legg when I was trying to seem smart and keep up with two really brilliant guys. But in other floor crossings, there's normally a keynote issue that is the make or break, right? So, it might have been the carbon tax, could have been the GST, as was the case with Sheila. She resigned over that. With Leona Alislev, she said that it was, I think it was domestic issues and foreign affairs. And her riding was also very close. She only won it by 2 percentage points. So it wasn't like a stark betrayal of everybody in the riding. It was really close. So I'm just looking to see what it was. Oh, she cited expressed concerns on foundational challenges facing Canada, and her real issue was the mishandling of the Liberals on the economy, which is like an honest answer. And she also expressed concerns about foreign affairs and Canada's withdrawing on certain issues from the world stage or going the wrong direction on the world stage. Those are real things. Like, those are real issues. But to say your speech in Davos really got me in the feels, sign me up.
So embarrassing.
Yeah.
And I mean, they have to go back 8 years to find someone who crossed the floor in the opposite direction. I mean, this is is it the third or the fourth Conservative
MP
we
had Michael
that's crossed?
Ma, and then the what's his face out in the Maritimes, or at least the East Coast. I know that you Maritimers get uppity with me when I say the Maritimes, and certain provinces are not included in the Maritimes. So there is a Conservative out there who just days before crossing the floor stood up in the House of Commons and delivered a speech ripping on the Liberals. Then Michael Ma, he crossed the floor, and now Matt Jeneroux. So that's 3. Like, it's obviously something going on in the background. It's not one MP or 2 MPs on a matter of conscience or whatever who are crossing the floor, who are saying, you promised that you would get rid of the carbon tax, and then you just moved it upstream and industrialized it so people couldn't see, I'm done with you, I'm crossing the floor. Or, I'm hearing from my constituents, they're rural constituents, they don't want the gun grab, I have to listen to them, I have to cross the floor. This isn't it. Like, this just isn't it. I understand why floor crossings happen on touchstone issues. This ain't it.
No, that underwhelming AI generated hypocritical Davos speech just it's not fitting the bill. And yeah, 3+ Conservative MPs to cross the floor in less than a year. That
in a minority government.
In a minority
Yeah.
government that's only a handful of seats away from a majority government. It's fishy. Something smells here.
As a Western separatist, on a 50% of me doesn't care. Because 50% of me is like, this ain't going to be my problem in a bit. And this only helps drive separatist sentiment, get signatures on the petition. But this is just so sleazy and conniving and cynical. This is everything that people hate about politics. And it is an absolute betrayal, not only of the promises he made to his colleagues, but the people who worked their butts off to get him elected. Like that riding, it wasn't it wasn't a landslide the way that you would see, like Damien Curick's riding or Poilievre's riding or even my own riding. It's not like that. I mean, it's a urban, well-off Edmonton riding. So it wasn't close by any means. Like it would be considered a landslide in other parts of the country, but like when you've got Conservatives winning by 70%, approaching 80%, was 84 for Damien Curick, right? Like, so it wasn't that, but it still would be considered a landslide in other parts of the country. And people were knocked doors, fundraised, they worked really hard to get this guy elected like 90 seconds ago. And he just is like, I don't care. That Davos speech, my goodness.